Welcome everyone. It's a wonderful day, and I want to, appreciate all those who have been following my series in this channel, guiding you through your academic race to enable you pass your exam. I'm here again, but this time around for a different purpose, and I would want you to, watch this patiently and see where this leads to. Now, many students have been writing exams, most especially the Jamb exams, UTME, and many persons have been wishing and dreaming to score very, very high in their exams. But unfortunately, many persons do not know the method, the way, or the pattern in which they can be able to prepare to achieve their required JAMB score. And this year, the JAMB exams is already at the corner, and everybody is running here and there to register for their exams. Some persons who are even registering do not know the things and how they will be able to prepare for their exams. But I'm here to guide you, and not just guide you, to direct you on not just how you will be able to pass the exam, but to also guide you and give you ways on how you'll be able to score 350 and above. Yes, I said 350 and above. I know many of you are so eager to know how and the way in which they can be able to prepare for the exam to score 300 and above. Many students write these exams and then they hit high scores, and other people look at them and they wish they were the ones who had those jam scores. And I'm here today to give you the secrets on how to be able to score very high in your UTME exam 2026. However, JAM exam is an exam that is for just 2 hours. The exam lasts for 2 hours, and for that 2 hours, we have 180 questions that have been prepared by this examination body for every student to write, which comprises of English, which is 60 questions, and the other three are 40 questions, depending on the field or the course in which you are applying for. For instance, if you're an engineering student, you'll be writing English, 60 questions, mathematics, 40 questions, physics, 40 questions, chemistry, 40 questions. And if you're a medical inclined student going for medicine, going for nursing, going for pharmacy, and the rest of them, you'll be writing English, 60 questions, physics, 40 questions, physics is 40 questions, then we have chemistry 40 questions, and we have biology for 40 questions. Now, each of these questions that have been prepared by this examination body called JAM have apportioned a particular time these questions will be answered. But then many students do not even know that time allocation has been given for each of the subjects that you'll be taking for your exams, and which I'm here also to tell you. Now, for each of the subjects, you have just 45 minutes. Yes, I know many of you are surprised to hear this for the first time. 45 minutes for each subject. You, as a Jambite, you are not supposed to spend any time above 45 minutes. If at all you are going to spend, it should be 45 minutes and below. Anytime you write a particular subject and you spend above 45 minutes, you are using the time for another subject for the particular one in which you are answering at the moment. And for that 45 minutes, each question in a particular subject is meant to be answered for 33 seconds. Oh yes, I know you are surprised. Yes, JAM requires that you answer each question for 33 seconds. 30 seconds to read the question through, understand the question, and then 3 seconds to pick the correct answer in which you feel is correct. And then you move over to the next question. And many students do not even know this all this while, and that's why I'm here to tell you how these exams are being arranged, and not just that, on how you'll be able to score 350 and above. It is very easy to score 350 and above. Now, many students think that being smart would make you or help you score very high in your exam. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be smart, or being smart cannot guarantee you in scoring very, very high in your exam. I know many of you must have had friends, classmates who are very smart in secondary school, or very, very intelligent in quotes, and then they write these exams and they are scoring, having scores like 230, 240, even 250, which is even below what is expected of them for the type of course they are going for. Yes, and it's because they try to be smart, or because they are smart and not strategic. There's a difference between being smart and being strategic in your preparation for the exam. And I'm going to advise you that if you are sitting for this year's Jamb, you need to be strategic in your preparation and not just being smart. Being smart is good, yes, you need to be smart, but you need to be strategic in your plans for the examination. Otherwise, if you're not strategic in your plans, you will just prepare blindly, and you may read very well, you may cover the syllabus, you may, cover everything needed, but then because you are not strategic in your preparation, it will affect your performance as a Jambite. And I'm here to tell you how you can be strategic in your preparation so that you can be able to score very, very high in your exams this year, 2026. This is how the pattern for preparation goes. Now, like I said earlier, your Jamb is 180 questions to be answered in 120 minutes, which is equivalent to 2 hours. Now, before you start preparing for any examination as a student, most especially Jamb, which is just 1 month from now, and you need, first of all, to have your required Jamb pass questions. Jamb has a pattern. Jamb has a pattern. In fact, let me just tell you, Jamb don't have any new questions anymore to set. Jamb don't have any new question to set. They have already exhausted all the questions they have. They only follow a particular pattern. And because they know that many students do not know this pattern on how to prepare for their exams, that is why many persons keep failing and keep scoring below their required score for their courses. However, the first thing you are going to do as a Jambite who want to score 350 is to first of all get your past questions. You need to get your past questions, and then you need to study these past questions. Study the past questions up to 10 to 20 years past questions. Oh yes, that's one of the ways for you to be able to score up to 350 and above in your exam. Now, after going through this past question, you are not going through the past question for you to answer them. No. You're not going through the past question for you to know if you are ready for the exams or not. No. You are going through the past questions to look at the pattern, to look at those topics that occurs frequently. Yes, because there are specific topics that Jamb repeats every single year. They cannot set exams without those topics. If you are following me in my channel, you will see that in my other videos, I have been dropping those key topics in your required subjects that Jamb repeats every single year. So I'm going to advise you to go back to my previous videos, watch them, and take down those topics in those subjects and prepare adequately for them, because I've been following this exam series for the past 15 years and I know the topics that Jamb prepares every single year. So back to our preparation for how to score 350. Like I said earlier, you need to go through your past questions. Study the past questions. Pick a paper, pick a pen, go through each year. Look at the topics that occurs frequently. Of course, I know that you must have passed through the secondary school. Some persons taking waec, some persons have not taken waec. Oh yes, but you must have passed through secondary school and you have known most of the topics that you are preparing for. Now, many of you, I know, have been learning from your secondary schools and you have gone through most of the subjects you are sitting for in your exams, and you know some of these topics or majority of these topics. So seeing a question, you should be able to know that, oh, this question is coming from this. This question is coming from this topic in mathematics, in physics, and in chemistry. So the first thing you're going to do, get a pen, get a paper, and then go through the pathway. Take your time. It will take you some time, yes. Nothing good comes easy, as we all know. Yes. In life, for you to get the best, you need to give your best as well. So you study this past question. Look at the topics that occurs frequently. In a particular year, you can see one topic appearing up to 3-4 times. In other years, more than that. So you have to go through those past questions very, very well for your 4 subjects in which you are sitting for in your exams. You go through them, you take them down, you look at them. For instance, let us say you are preparing for biology, and then after studying the past questions for 10 to 20 years, you are seeing that ecology and genetics are rampant in the past question. As a strategic student who is preparing for the exam to score 350, remember your target is to score 350. You don't need to go and spend 2 weeks or more reading crop diseases or reading cells or reading tissues in biology when you have vividly seen that for the past 10 to 20 years in the past question, genetics and ecology has been repeated continuously. So after doing that, you have taken down those topics that are occurring frequently. You now go back to your textbooks, and then you begin to dig deep into these topics one after the other. You take your time, you study them, you understand the principles behind these topics, you read them, you digest them, and you are time conscious in your preparation. You don't use the whole time knowing that you have 4 subjects to prepare for. You don't use the whole time to prepare for one particular topic. You split them out, and then you prepare adequately. After going through that process, remember, as a strategic student who want to score 350 in their exams, in their exams, then you come back to those past questions in which you have, kept for yourself, in which you have in your possession after reading those topics. And then you now, go through the past questions, trying to see if what you have read from your textbooks will enable you to be able to answer those questions in which you have studied from your textbook. And then you go through them, you try to answer them. And while doing that, you need to also be time conscious. Remember that you don't have the whole day in sitting for the exam. You have just 2 hours in 24 hours on the day of the exam to write these exams. So since you are seeing that you have 45 minutes for each subject, you can time yourself and say, I will try to answer 40 questions in 20 minutes or 25 minutes or maximum 30 minutes. You try to work on your speed, because Jamb is all about speed and familiarity, because like I said earlier, they always repeat their questions. They always repeat their past questions. There is a pattern which I'm giving you now, and I'm telling you that this pattern is how Jamb use to prepare their questions. They give you limited time because they know that these questions are always repeated every year. And then they give you short, limited time and 180 questions to see how fast you are able to deliver. So after studying the topics in your textbooks, answering those questions in your past question, you time yourself, and then you set a time, and then you see how far you can able to answer this question. If you do this 2, 3, 4 times consecutively, you can now be able to tell yourself that, oh, I am prepared to this level, or I am not prepared to this particular level. And if for the first move you see that you didn't do well, that's fine. You go back again to the topic, and then you come back to the past question and see that you answer these questions very well. Remember that there are so many online apps you can use in preparing for this exam. There are some apps on the Play Store that you can download that can help you, that are timed, that can help you in answering these questions. And after answering, they give you the score that you have gotten for the exams in which you have taken. So I want to advise you that you download those apps. We have apps like My School, and there's others, so many of them. You download them, and then you set the time for the exam, and then you sit for it. Remember, after you have gone through the past question at first, look at the pattern, look at the topics that occurs frequently, and you have gone to your textbook to study these questions, and then you come back to the past questions, and then you answer them very well. Study, make sure that you study up to 10 to 20 years past questions before your exams. And let me just tell you a secret. Most of your comprehension passage question in your JAM are all from the newspaper. They are all, that's the secret. They are all articles from the newspaper. Many of you don't know. That's why some persons, you try to read your comprehension passage in JAM, and you can't be, you are not able to get the answer at a goal. Some students, they read the question and then go to the passage and then find the answer. That majorly happens in waec, but not in JAM, because most of your questions from your JAM comprehension are all from the newspaper. Many persons do not know this. Even many tutors do not know this. And that is why you need to study your past questions and get used to this pattern in which these exams are being set. And then you can also all the questions that you knew that you have failed, you write them down. Get a notebook, get a pen. The questions you have failed, write them down. Go back to the textbook, study them again, try to see if you can answer them, and also try the past. If you can do that every week, after studying for a particular week, you can, you get to your app, and then you test yourself from what you have studied. Remember, there are some apps that when you have finished reading a particular topic, you can just download this app, and then you just click mathematics, for instance, and then you click coordinate geometry. All the questions JAM has ever asked on coordinate geometry will appear, and then you test yourself. Not just test yourself, you also time yourself, and then you are cautious of the time that you spend in preparing for this exam. You keep practicing, day in and day out, and I can assure you that when you practice for these exams repeatedly using your past questions, don't forget, your past question is like a sure guide, a sure way to making and blasting 90 and above in your respective subjects in JAM. And when you do all this, I can assure you that you are on the right track, and you are going to get 350 and above in your exam. You make very good use of your past questions, like I said earlier, and then you read your textbook, but make sure that before reading, you must have studied your past question very, 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 very well, so that you can be able to know those topics that occurs frequently every year, and then you attempt them. You see yourself doing absolutely well in your exam. I can't wait to get your comments on this video, telling me how you are able to hit 350 and above in your exams this particular year. Now, many students are actually confused, and that's why you don't need to be. The reason why I specifically said that you should also study your textbook before using the past question is that most of the times these past questions are prepared by some persons who maybe work with these exam bodies, and some of the times most of their answers are wrong, maybe due to typographical error. But when you have studied this topic in your textbook, and then you come back to the past question and study these past questions, try to answer the questions, when you now see that this question or the answer given for this question is not correct, because you have studied the topic from your textbook, you can be able to detect and see there's a problem here and there's a problem here, and then you correct it because you have an idea of what that question is talking about. But if you do not, study the past questions, and you do not, read your textbook, whatever answer the past question gives to you, you just accept. Even if there's an error in it, you just accept it and then you go your way. And that would not really help you in scoring 300, 350, 350 and above in your Jamb. I am waiting for your comments, for your questions. If you have any, I'm going to answer you in the comment section. Do well to like, share, and subscribe on this channel. Distribute this to your friends who are preparing for the exam. Don't allow them to, fail because of ignorance, so that they too can also do well. And I will be willing and be ready to share with you in your, 350 and above in your Jamb. See you guys in my next video, and see you at the top. Bye for now.